Good morning. I mean, you can be watching this in the afternoon or at night, but moral of the story, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Xavier Ashton, aka AshtonRoyale, and yes, I am back again with another video. So with that being said, sorry, I know I haven't posted in like 2 months. The last video that I posted was like my sneaker collection. I posted like a update kind of 10K giveaway video, but it really didn't go how I wanted it to go. So I'm probably gonna redo that video. But if you guys don't know, basically what happened is on January 9th, which is my mother's birthday, I crashed, total loss on the car. It was just a whole lot of back and forth with the insurance and the shop, and it was just annoying. So that's what I'm still going through. It's still prolonging basically, so you know, it is what it is. The only good thing about that is I didn't have a car note, so with the money that I wasn't paying for my car note, I saved up and finally did something that I wanted to do for a while now, because this has come out and I wanted to upgrade my camera. So in today's video, yes, as you can see, I'm very excited. I will be reviewing, well, not reviewing, because you know I'm not really a tech channel, so this is kind of like your average consumer first impressions on the A7IV. And if you don't know, the camera that I'm currently shooting on, is the A7 III. So this was how can I say, to some people this is like not that much of an upgrade, but for me, just because of the flip out screen and how I want to get into vlogging, it was a big upgrade for me, plus like the 10-bit and all that. So let me stop doing too much talking. Let's get into unboxing this. So once again, quick disclaimer, like I said, I'm not a techie, I just like tech things. So if you want to get like the technical points of all this, what the camera could do, I'm not your guy. Like I said, this is just a first impressions of me unboxing my new camera. If you want to know like all the insides and the outs of the A7 IV, check out I believe it's Gerald Undone. That's honestly, like, if I want to know anything about a camera, I watch him. Okay, in the top we got some you know, just like some books, limited warranty, what's this, $1,000 Visa. Wait, hold on now, register your product to it. Oh, I thought I was like, I bought I thought I won a $1,000 prepaid card. You know, you just got your typical books, manuals and whatnot. So if you don't know how to use the camera, you know, that's always nice. Because the funny thing is, like I said, I work in the phone industry. You will get sold an iPhone or like a Galaxy that's like $1,000 to almost like $1,500. No manual, no nothing. It's basically like a play as you go type of thing. Okay, the first thing I see here is a strap. I don't really use the camera straps that come with the cameras. I use Peak Design camera straps because they're like quick release. Best idea ever for a camera. Thank you, Peak Design. I use it on all the cameras I ever had. Sorry for that notification, but I'll leave a link down below to show you the Peak Design one. But it's always nice to have a camera strap. Okay, next thing in the box, what do we have here? And it is your battery. Oh. Like I was just saying, this is the battery, and it is the NP-FZ100, I believe. Yep, NP-FZ100. I love these batteries. They're expensive, but they're worth the money. Yo, honestly, I remember when I was shooting on like an A6300 and it had the little batteries. To me, it felt like 3 of those little batteries equal 1 of these. So like if you were shooting, those batteries would just die so fast. So thank you, Sony, for making this battery. Okay, next thing we have in the box is a wall outlet, is what it looks like. Yeah, and my only gripe with Sony cameras, just any camera in general, if we're spending $2,000 on a camera, why send us this wall outlet where we have to plug our camera that has the battery inside to charge the whole system when we only need to charge the battery? Why can't you just give us the, you know, the battery charger where you just put it on the wall, slide your battery in? You know, we gotta go to like Amazon and buy these things. Like, why are you giving me this for a camera that cost me $2,500? It's mind-blowing, but it is what it is. At least they give you something, right? So moving on. Next thing we have in the box is, I don't know what this would be. Hold on, let me get this open. Oh, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. You can't have like a charger without the block, right? Okay, now that we got all the extras out of the way, now we finally could get into the camera, and let's pull this bad boy out. Moment of truth right here, and right off the bat, before even unwrapping this camera, I could automatically feel the difference with the grip and how heavy it is compared to the A7 III. So let's unwrap this thing right here, slide that bad boy out, and oh my God, I fell in love all over again. This thing is a beautiful looking device right there. Right off the bat, like I said, the first thing I could feel is the grip in the hand. Now, I don't have big hands. One thing I knew about a lot of Sony users, that if you had bigger hands, the A7 III, all the A7R3s and like down, those camera bodies before they upgraded to this big body camera body, people hated the fact that if you were shooting like me, this is perfect for me. Like, you see how this fits in my hand. Other people that had bigger hands, like one of my boys that helps me shoot photography, every time he would shoot my camera, he would have his pinky right under the battery door. And that was his way of stabilizing, because he couldn't fit all his fingers in this little grip. But now, like, yo, this just, it feels perfect in the hand. Another thing, basically the thing that I bought this camera for, and I'm just looking at it right now, is you see that right there, that flip screen, this right here, oh my God, you don't understand. My first camera that I shot on was a Canon T6i. That's like, if you go back and look at all my YouTube videos, that's what I used to shoot everything on. And when I told you I took this little like swivel screen for granted, and I just you know, spent 2 bands and got myself an A7 III, and I had to realize that I had to rig it up, you know, put up external monitor to view myself, and it was just a lot. That's why vlogging on this, I tried vlogging on this device so many times, and it was just annoying, because you never know like what your exposure is and everything, because you're just guessing, because you're just basically holding the camera like this, you know what I mean, when you're vlogging. So I even tried it where I put the monitor on, and then it looks even more crazy, because, you know, picture me like going to the mall or something, and I have my camera like this, a big ass monitor, the you know, my Rode Video Pro sticking out from it on a Joby it's just a lot, and it's a heavy setup. So something as simple as this just makes my life 10 times better. You have no idea. With that being said, let's go into the body differences from the A7 III to the A7 IV. First, starting with the most annoying part about the A7 III when I first got it, and it was these things right here. So this is where you put your camera strap. Mind you, I said I put my Peak Design camera straps basically on here. But the one thing that I hated, I don't understand, and like why you guys couldn't just do this from the beginning. So one thing about the A7 III, if you didn't know, is it had these, which are for your camera straps, you know, like the little holders, but they had like some length to it. Like, so the thing that was the most annoying with these is when you were recording, this would keep hitting your camera, and then you were able to hear it, and the audio was the most annoying thing, to the point that some people even took them and just, you know, like cut them off, which I don't blame them, because you would just be doing this and you just hear metal to plastic, just bing, 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 bing in your audio. It was the most annoying thing ever. So like I said, first things first is your little camera strap holders. Next thing on the list that we're going to talk about is the port doors. So the port doors on the A7 III felt like real cheap. Basically it was just like plastic hanging on. So as you could see, hold on, let me just open these things right here. The doors on here, they really do feel nice. They feel secure. Like when you open up the A7 III, it was just like plastic and it hung. So every time you open one, like if you do this, it would just be hanging to the side, which, I mean, back then it was whatever, but like now it's like, you know, like why you couldn't do this in the beginning, you know, this just feels more secure. Like the camera just feels like real more secure. Another thing is now that you have USB-C, of course, because you know USB-C now is like the charging standard. So no micro USB. I think that was on the A7 III. Correct me if I'm wrong. Another great thing is once again with the micro, now we have a full HDMI cable. So micro HDMI, that was just annoying. You know, those cables were just annoying to find. Another thing is the door where you have your you know, SD card. So you slide this down, and then slide this down, boom, pop it out just like that. So in here you have the express card, which I'm probably never going to use, and then you could just use your regular USD 1 or 2. I bought a USD 2, and those things are crazy expensive. I'll link it down below. I gotta SanDisk one. I don't know, there's one of these codecs where you're gonna have to use an express card. I don't, like I said, I'm not a techie like that, so I don't know which one it is. If I find out, I'll put it on the screen. The back of the camera basically looks the same. The only difference, as you could see, is that, like, again, once we have the flip out screen, so, you know, one of the best features on this camera and the A7S3 is, you know, you finally get the flip out screen. So that's definitely love. So there really isn't much going in the back that's different. Really all the same things. The only difference on the back is that, remember, on the A7 III you had your record button up here. I believe it was like over here, but now it's on the top. The only thing I don't like about the record button is it doesn't give you, I forgot what it's the like real term for it, but it would have been nice if, you know, you just highlighted the red ring when you're recording to let you know that you're recording. On the FX3, if you're recording, it gives you like 3 signals, you know, like 3 lights that tells you you're recording, even on the A7 III. So I don't understand why you couldn't run some type of wire up there that, you know, once I hit record, it will just show that I'm recording, because we all been in those instances where you think you're recording and you're not. So that's just one of those things. Like I said, very small. With all that being said, like I said, the dials are different. As you could see here, I'm probably gonna do like some in detail shots of this because it's kind of hard to show you guys on camera. But this dial is probably the dopest dial now, because before, you know, you will only like do this on the A7 III to basically go from like video to photo and everything. Those days are in the past now. So now, as you could see here, you can switch from video, I'm trying to do this one hand, from photo to S&Q. But that's really dope because you could stay in your same settings. I believe it's how they, like, say if you have your same settings for video and then you just want to go to photo, you just could go back and forth with keeping the same settings. So yeah, man, custom buttons, you still only have 3, which is, you know, you got 1 on the top and then 2 up here. Also, correct me if I'm wrong down below, but I believe on this, the EVF is bigger. I know it has like more points of like focus and everything on the EVF. So now that we got the body differences out of the way, let's go into the internals and let's talk about why I bought the camera. Basically the good, the bad, and the reason number 1 being this camera is 33 megapixels. So I mean, of course, it's not as high as the R's, which have like 60 something megapixels. It's half of that, but it's basically better than the A7 III, which I believe had like 24 megapixels. With that being said, 33 is kind of like a sweet spot because you still could use this camera for prints. You still get all the detail. You could crop in heavily and still get a very good resolution on your photo. The only thing is, with like the R cameras that have like those 60 megapixels, of course you could get better detail, but with this, if you're editing in your computer, the file sizes won't be as big. Next thing on the list is stabilization. On the A7 III you had 5, on the A7 IV you had 5.5. I mean, 0.5 to a lot of people ain't like really nothing, but when I was looking at YouTube tests and all of that, it kind of made a hell of a difference. So you got a stabilization upgrade. The next thing on the list is one of my favorite upgrades, because thank you so much, Sony, because can we just all admit the A7 III's autofocus system was good when it wanted to be, and just most of the time just trash. I'm not gonna say trash, but like, for all the autofocus points that you could have had, it could have been like really better. On the A7 III, I believe it was like 690 autofocus points. On here, it's about like 760 or something. Yeah, I think it's like 760 on here. Another good thing about this camera is it comes with the new upgraded picture profile, so you have like S-Cinetone. Also, I heard S-Log is easier to use on this camera. I don't know because of the 10-bit or whatever, but I just heard it's just easier to use S-Log on here. So that's also a good thing if you're a video shooter, because you know flat profiles are the best. And the best and last upgrade about this camera is what I said earlier in the video, which is the 10-bit. So color grading, you can color grade like a beast now. On the A7 III, you know, you had to like externally record to like a Shinobi to try to get to, it was just a lot. So now that you have 10-bit internal, it's just, this makes this camera a beast, you know what I mean? And just like in life, with all good, there's bad. Number 1 being, if you're predominantly a video shooter, this might not be the camera for you. Reason being, rolling shutter. So you see what I'm doing here? The best way to define rolling shutter is when you do this with a camera real fast, on the FX3 and the A7S3, like I said, if you're a video shooter, you might want to go for those, because on here it's just like the A7 III. It really wasn't much of a difference or upgrade to that. The best way to describe it is like the pictures are bending. So instead of it just doing this, you'll see like your picture go like this. It's kind of a weird thing. So like I said, that was number one. The next thing is basically the last bad thing about this camera, because I can't really badmouth this camera, but this to me kind of was a deal breaker until I really sat down and thought about it and thought what I'm going to use the camera for. And to a lot of people, this was a deal breaker, and that's why this camera is like a hit or miss to some people. It's like you could get this and you could get the best of both worlds because it's a hybrid camera, or you could spend that extra $1,000 and just get the video predominant camera, which is that like A7S III, or if you even want to go higher than that, you get the FX3. But 4K 60. Now, everybody says it's the most horrible thing. Now, the reason why it's horrible for this camera is because it's 4K 60 with a 1.5 crop. So that's what kills it for a lot of people. For me per se, I'm gonna use it 4K 60. I'm just gonna have to get a wider lens because that 1.5 crop is, you know what I mean? The thing about it is, usually if you're using 60 to 120, which I wish we had 4K 120 on this camera, but Sony, you're smart, you know not to put it on here because it will kill your, you know, A7 III sales. So we know. But usually when you're shooting slow motion, you're shooting B-roll anyway. So you want to get close anyway. You know what I mean? I don't really need 4K 120. It's a blessing to have 4K 120. I'll take the 4K 60 with a 1.5 crop. I shoot sneakers and stuff. So now we could get into the and basically the is the price you're paying for this device. So $2,500. So I remember when I bought my A7 III, it was only $2,000. So basically an extra $500 to upgrade. And basically what we're getting out of that deal is more autofocus points, you know, a better stabilization, you got your flip out screen, you got 10-bit recording. So I feel personally for the $500 that I spent extra, that's how I'm looking at it, definitely is a hell of an upgrade. Like I said, I'm in the phone industry. People spend $1,000 to $1,100. If you get the Pro Max, you're spending $1,100 every year just to get a better camera. You know what I mean? So if you have the extra money and like I said, you're predominantly shooting video, spend the extra $1,000 to get an A7 III. If not, this camera is more, I would say, on the photo side rather than the video side, but you still get great video out of here. And I understand why Sony did that, because when the A7 III came out, there was no A7S III, it was just A7S II. So that camera blew away multiple people because all the features you got. You understand what I'm saying? Now that we have the A7S III and the FX3, this doesn't really blow those out of the water because that's the competition. When the A7 III came out, there was no competition. Oh, and before I end this video, let's not forget one thing I do love: new menu system. You're probably not going to see that, but the menu system on the A7 III and all the like A7 cameras was garbaggio, boy. But this, oh my God, the layout on this is so much better. So thank you, Sony, for that. Thank you for that upgrade, because yo, to find stuff on the old cameras, like you had to go through like 5 menus with like 17 different pages, and it was just a hassle. So thank you for the better menu. So with all that being said, we are now reaching the end of the video. If you guys made it to the end of the video, don't forget to go down below and smack that like button and drop a comment down below. Your boy is back. Thank you once again, everybody that helped me that got to 10K. So yeah, that's really all, man. It's, you know what it is. It's your boy AshtonRoyale, and I'm signing out of here. Peace.